1 minute past 11. Can you imagine? And all of you already here. So guys, as we wait for more people, I have just about 5 minutes to allow you to do this. So please, this is the time you sell yourself. This is the time you introduce yourself. And this is the time I give you a shout out. Yes, so great to see you all. Faith Wanjiro, you're from Afro-styled Africa, selling you magical Kenya in all our range of made in Africa, made in Kenya artisanal products. Great to see you. Then you've put your WhatsApp. If you have your Instagram, Facebook, or TikTok, please feel free. Feel free. Bernard Mutai, great to see you. Bernard Boito Delights. Yes, Boito is they deal in Mursik. Great to see you. Fermented milk. Great to see you. They're based in Bomet. They're an agro processing company. Great to see you. Violet Badda. Great to see you, Violet. There'll be lots of people from Zimbabwe. Great to see you. SSC, we work across Africa. Violet, great to see you. Thanks for joining again and again. You're a detergents manufacturer. Violet, you're from, yes, Chipinge, Zimbabwe. Great to see you all. We have covered the entire districts of Zimbabwe, the entire districts of Malawi. So in case you see a lot of people from Malawi, a lot of people from Zimbabwe, you now understand why. Bo Mushiri, Vipepe Enterprises, you deal with soap and detergent manufacturing, and you also do crochet bags and clothing. Great to see you. Brian, please, Mushiri, please put your Instagram. WhatsApp may not be so effective, guys. Please put your Instagram page, your Facebook page. Please put all those things there. Your website. This is the time I allow you guys to sell, to interact, for people to know what you're doing, because this is the essence of these meetings. Mugai Jomo, great to see you. Thai's Kitchen, yes. Amazing brand. Yeah, so Engage Thai. He also has Thai's Farm. It's an amazing model. Great to see you, Mungai. So if you're somewhere around Kikuyu, you must have known Thai's chicken. You must have known it. Karibu sana. Impressive what you have built. Karibu sana. Ruben Tamba. Ubima Logistics. Great to see you. Ubima Logistics. You're a Pan-African marketing and logistic company. Great to see you, Ruben Tamba. Great to see you. Yes, and you across Africa. Great to see you. Brand Mushiri, Home Comforts. Yes. Thank you for always joining. Yes, you have FMCG products for local and international market. You're looking to grow your distributor network. You're in the right place. Aditya Prakash, you're in 30 plus countries. Great to see that. Yes, I like to see people in other countries. So you do software systems and so forth. So great to see you all in Nairobi. That's a WhatsApp number. Karibuni sana. So if you're joining from not in Kenya, you've heard me say this phrase a lot. Karibu means welcome. I keep forgetting the Malawi, the Zimbabwe, and your country. So if you can put for me how to say welcome in the chat, I'll really appreciate. Yeah, I'll really appreciate if you can put for me how to say welcome or good morning in chat from your own country. I'll really appreciate, because this is a Pan-African meeting. There are very many people from across Africa. Memory, great to see you. Food value addition, you're selling items through your food outlets. Amazing. Yes, and you're based in Marondera, Zimbabwe. Yes, amazing. Great to see you, Memory. Ruth Glarian, great to see you, Ruth. They are detergent manufacturers. Amazing entrepreneur. Great to see you, Ruth. Please put your website. Please put your social media. Great to see you, Ruth. So if you're looking for bulk detergents, bulk industrial cleaning, they manufacture that. Lots, they do it very well. Great to see you. Stuart Kondoe from Malawi. You're the founder of Sanitation 200. Great to see you, Stuart. Great to see you, Tony from Standard Investment Bank. You deal with securities training. Great to see you. Emma. Great to see you, Emma. As always, Emma Knoll Logistics. She's very passionate about logistics, clearing, forwarding, everything in between. If you want your goods moved, talk to Emma. Emma, you haven't put your contacts, eh? Please you have put your email. Okay, you have put your email. Great to see you guys. Ray and Risa, you're in the meat value chain. Today you guys are very many. Kajiado, Karibuni sana. Rayan, great to see you, Rayan. Great to see you. Yes, amazing meat products. premium meat products. Amazing. All the way from Kajiado. Great to see you. If you see me excited, it's because some of them have been in some of our classes, some of our cohorts, and I haven't seen them in some time now. So great to see you. Fiona Kusikwenyu, you put your Instagram. You're from Bulawayo. Amazing, amazing. Yeah, you put a new meaning to cake art. Great to see you. Great to see you. Elizabeth Babu, Bakery Fats, and teen release products in Nairobi. So keep the introductions coming. Team, please mute everyone. Please mute everyone. Please help me to mute people. I know we will be full house today. Please help me. So guys, put your business on chat. At this point, what I want to do, I see it's 7 minutes past 11. I'll invite our speaker shortly, so just wait. I want us to play a video from the center, from the SME Support Center. In case you're wondering who is the SME Support Center, if you've never interacted with us, in case you're wondering who we are, please, I'll allow our team to play a video, and then I'll do a few more introductions, and then I invite the speaker of the day. Karibuni sana, karibuni sana, karibuni sana. So team, over to you. Great to see you all.
Welcome to the SME Support Center, where micro, small, and medium enterprises get the big support they need. The SME Support Center is an aggregator of SMEs in Africa and a provider of various support services to the SMEs. Our services include financial institution services, funding fairs, SME business advisory, SME investment advisory, aggregated services such as insurance, logistics, and billboard partners, development programs consulting. Visit our website, register, and gain access to funding opportunities, tender opportunities, funding news, and trade events sent to your email. SSC Studio is your one-stop destination for your professional photography, videography, and social media branding services. If interested, visit our website, click on SSC Studio, and fill out the registration form. We have an access to market initiative called the SME Blue Pages, where we showcase manufacturing made in Africa brands. To register, select Add Listing and add the details.
Great. Thank you so much. So if you're here, you're probably a member of the center, and we share a lot of information for free. And this was just our initiative to bring everyone together, so that we can always interact. Our membership from across Africa, we can interact, and we bring business leaders to share insights and so forth. So I'll give a few more shout outs. I'll also ask our team to put our WhatsApp channel. In case you're not in our membership, you can get everything real time through our WhatsApp channel. So I'll ask our team to also put the link to our WhatsApp channel. It's not a WhatsApp community, so you won't be bombarded with messages. Don't worry, it's just a channel, the typical WhatsApp channel, and you get abreast of all the information at the center, real-time funding opportunities, tender opportunities, all the trade events happening in Africa. Our mission is very simple, and to ensure that no SME lacks any information. In this information age, if you lack information, you're the problem. There's so much information for entrepreneurs. Now it's upon us to digest, pick what we need, and grow. So guys, we cannot be lazy. We cannot be lazy in business. So let me give a few more shout outs, and I'll invite our speaker. Esther Kimani, great to see you. Kovi Food International, amazing. Yeah, you're in consultancy and you help people navigate supply chain. So great to see you. Saying I'm delighted to see my sisters and brothers from Zimbabwe. They're delighted to see you too. Karibu sana. I see Brenda Marrera from Zimbabwe. So lots of collaboration happening on the chat. If you haven't put your name and business on chat, please feel free to do so. If you haven't put your name and business on chat, feel free to do so. So I see it is 11 minutes past 11. We have given time for the latecomers to come, and it's a pleasure to always host this. Every 2 weeks we host this. Every 2 weeks we host this, and we host business leaders from across Africa. I am always looking out for people that I feel like would benefit. And today we have an amazing speaker. I have been following them online secretly. They're called Gilani Distributors, Mr. Faiz Gilani, and the team. I want to invite him to now put his video on, and the team to set up, and then we can begin. So today we are talking about distribution. Guys,
Thanks, Lydia.
distribution, guys, distribution. That's all we are talking about today. Retail distribution. Great to see you all. So Mr. Faiz, karibu sana, you're very welcome. Please take it away. So the instruction, guys, he will speak to us uninterrupted, and then you put all your questions on chat. You guys usually have a lot of questions, and from when he finishes, I will ask questions until 12:30 latest. So karibu sana, Mr. Faiz.
Thank you, Lydia. Thank you very much for the invite. Much appreciated. And obviously allowing us to present to all your followers regarding Gilani's distribution. So basically, I think the subject today that we had discussed prior into our engagement was obviously discussing the FMCG landscape. I have seen a lot of your calls that have taken place prior, and I think one of the previous ones was done by my friend Luck from Unilever. So we've prepared this presentation for your followers, and obviously regarding today's presentation. So Rhoda, maybe we can just move on to the next slide. So basically what we'll start with is in terms of the FMCG landscape, I think we've had a lot of coverage in this particular industry over the last, probably 3 to 4 years. There's been a lot of players, a lot of PE money that's come in, venture capital money regarding how to grow this space. We've had several players who've come into the space, several players who've left the space. And what we've realized is obviously, as we move on to the next slide, you'll see how the history of Gilani's has emanated to where we are today, which I think is extremely important in the context of how we're riding our current journey, which is to move from literally a family business and a single location distributor in Kenya to countrywide, which is where we are today. So Rhoda, maybe we can just go to the next slide. So initially, we'll start with obviously the size of the market, which clearly shows you that in month on month, year on year, this space has been growing. So overall, in East Africa, the last study that we've seen, there's a $23 billion spend in this industry per annum. And Kenya is leading, obviously, its counterparts, Uganda and Tanzania, in this space in terms of a rising middle class. And that's the reason we decided to venture into this space, seeing that the channel we're servicing is actually broken down into what we call general trade in Kenya. So we have the modern trade, which would be, I think Luck spent a lot of time in his last presentation discussing Carrefour, Naivas, and a lot of the brands that have multiple outlets across the country. And these are outlets that you would walk into. But predominantly, the market we serve is actually the general trade, which is the Duka kiosk, mini mart. So these would be outlets with 2 tills, 3 tills. But a lot of the rural population actually visit these outlets. So it's actually quite interesting when you go into it. You would find that in Kenya, the number of dukas and kiosks would range above 200,000. So that's our overall market size in Kenya. It's over 200,000 outlets. Some studies show 250, some show 300,000. And each of these outlets is generally servicing between 150 and 200 people. So when you add that number or multiply it together is where you come to the population, which would range close to 60 million in our country. And we know that that is the addressable size of the market. And what we found from the data that we've gone through is about 40% of that is modern trade. So you would have people walking into, malls or larger stores, and 60% of that is actually through general trade. So the product categories that we sell through this is, mainly commodities, because the spend is limited. So you'd be looking at your flour, your cooking oil, items like milk, sugar. Those are the items that we would, basically cover. We would also have the different segments. So as we're distributors, it doesn't necessarily all go down to Duka Kiosk. You would have wholesalers that are large. They would have a few vehicles attached to them. You would have sub-wholesalers, which would be just maybe a counter, cash and carry outlet in a particular town. You would then have mini marts and smaller supermarkets, like I mentioned, 1 and 2 stall. And then you would also have Duka Kiosk, which is literally someone sitting behind the counter and offering you product from a small space, which could be literally 10 feet by 10 feet. So those are the different customer segments that we have. So regarding the trends that we've seen in FMCG distribution, of course, there's a lot of technology that's come into play. This starts from literally your base, which would be your ERP. So you would need the ERP system to come in and obviously help you manage the business, which would be your procurement side, your sales side, which would be literally managing your entire finances. And then what we've looked at in terms of digital transformation and route to market is we've partnered with companies that would have Salesforce automation. So what this does is it allows your sales reps to follow a particular route. So the way we actually sell today is we have agents that actually go into the field and they're mapped on particular routes, and they would have to hit a certain number of visits, certain number of customers. And on their application, they're able to see all our products with all our pricing. So that is one mode of selling. The other mode of selling is actually through a call center. So we have a fully functional call center, which has 40 agents. You can dial in toll free to this call center and get deliveries countrywide. So you can call in, or you can actually get an agent to call you. If you're a frequent customer, they generally call. And so they would be frequencing, it would be maybe once a day, it could be once a week. And that's something we're working on as well. So those are the different methods of selling. All of that is using technology. So even the sales call, we have a partner where you would have something called auto dialing. So you would be able to upload a sheet of numbers, and the system would auto dial. You would have voice blasts, which would be messages that you could get from us in terms of either SMS or voice messages, where they would be able to send this to your phone and say, we have particular offers on this day. If you're interested, press 1. And when you press that number, you would be linked directly to a call center agent. Regarding e-commerce growth, sorry, Rhoda, if you could just go back slightly. Regarding e-commerce, we're looking at adding an omni-channel. So we call it omni-channel sales. So I've mentioned to you, obviously, the physical sales side, the call center sales side. And then what we're also looking at is interaction through WhatsApp. So we could have customers reaching us through WhatsApp or WhatsApp online store. That's something that we're exploring. And we also have a customer-facing app in the pipeline. So what that would do is we would give a lot of consumers the ability, rather than waiting for a call center or waiting for an agent to reach their premises, we would give you the access to say, okay, I've logged into this app and I've downloaded the app. I can see the products, I can see the pricing, and then I can pick delivery time slots as well. So that's something we're working on, and that's on the e-commerce side, something that we should have ready by the end of the year as well. In regards to integration of AI and automation, I think this word is thrown around a lot in terms of AI. We currently use it to a very minimal level at the moment. There is a lot of use for it, but we need to make sure that we're actually gaining value. So at the moment, we do use a few tools that are offered by Microsoft for AI, but we haven't really started using full functionality of the AI power and how the data would be processed, but it is something that is in the pipeline for us as well. Can move to the next slide, Rhoda. Sorry, Rhoda, are we able to move to the next slide? Okay, so in terms of the market challenges we face, of course, I think it's been in the news in terms of inflationary pressures. We have, pay slips shrinking. We have a lot of challenges with spend on commodity items. So we found that the average spend per consumer is dropping. So we're having to find, and to grow our revenues, we're having to find additional customers. The hardest challenge that we currently have at the moment is in terms of logistical complexity. So because Kenya doesn't have a structured postal system, we're having to map a lot of the data using the tools that we have, which basically take the longitude and latitude locations today, So the sales team is able to map these out, and then we have to sync this through with deliveries. So you can imagine if you have 50 orders that have come in through a particular market, and if I was to pick Nairobi, if you were to use Eastleigh as an example, and you had 50 customers that had placed orders from Eastleigh to South Sea to other areas, it's how do you actually then manage your routing and your truck? And that is the logistical complexity that we face today. So in terms of getting the orders in, loading them in a particular sequence, that's not the difficult part. The difficult part becomes the last mile and the driver, where he has to actually then move around. And that's where we're putting our last piece of technology in, is on the route and fleet optimization, where the driver will be able to follow a particular route plan and route journey to say that it's very efficient for him. So he saves on the fuel cost, he saves on the time cost, and then that allows us to actually turn around our vehicle quicker. So in FMCG terms, we talk about turnaround time, and our objective there is to obviously minimize that and hence reduce our cost, because you're reducing your fuel cost and you're able to do more trips a day with that particular vehicle. So the biggest challenge actually we face today is in terms of logistics. And that's the kind of value that Gilani's offers, because we're in a space where a lot of suppliers are actually finding that challenge, and they're saying, we have several customers, but we actually find it very, very difficult to deliver to these customers. And that is where we're coming to fill the gap for them. So in terms of efficient route to market coverage and efficient deliveries in real time as well. And then in addition to that, we're also able to offer them data insights. So we're able to show them, how quickly an order came in, how quickly that order was serviced. Was it serviced in full? So, again, FMCG terminology, are you able to service your order in full? It's called OTIF, on-time fulfillment. And what kind of percentages are you getting to? And that's basically where we're aiming as well, to ensure that we're servicing all our orders at 100% in a timely manner. So in terms of the market opportunities, of course, we've looked at this and studied this strategically in terms of demand for staple foods. So, like we mentioned, the basket size is much smaller in the general trade due to the spending power. And we are looking to actually expand our product portfolio and ensure that we can cover as many products that is required by our customers. So when I say this, I mean, not only are we providing the staple foods, we would be providing toilet paper, cleaning products, basically anything you need in your household is something that Gilani's would be looking to service to the last mile. When we talk about private label expansion, it's something we've done over the period of time, where we have Gilani's rice, Gilani's sugar, Gilani's spaghetti. So what we look to do is offer an extremely high quality product to the consumer and ensure that, our brand is actually leading the way in terms of the quality and pricing points that we're aiming for as well. Rhoda, we can move to the next slide. So in regards to our history, this is just something that, the audience may not be aware of, but we started in 1974. So this year we actually celebrate 51 years in our supermarket business. And in 1982, we actually expanded into the restaurant and bar industry, which we still run today. There's been a lot of upgrades that have happened there. So that's something that we still run as Gilani Supermarket. And in 1990, we actually went into the cash and carry model. So the cash and carry model in Gilani Supermarket, that is only housed in Nakuru, is a place where you can come and do all your household shopping and save between 10 and 15% from any normal store. What this does and how we do it is, if you have an item, for example, a bottle of water that's selling at 100 shillings, you would be able to buy 6 bottles of water. And just using an example, you may be able to spend 95 shillings per bottle. So by buying a larger quantity, you're able to reduce your RRP, the retail recommended price, or the SRP, the retail pricing. And if you buy 12, you're able to reduce that even further. And if you buy a carton, you would reduce that even further. So that's our motto. And that's what we've taken into Gilani's distributors, is basically the more you buy, the more you save. So that's the value proposition. So it's not only for Duka Kiosk, but if you're looking to do a monthly shop, Gilani's distributors is definitely the place for you to be looking out for deals. In 2010 is when we actually started the distribution business, which is now actually going to trade, like I mentioned to you earlier, picking orders and then delivering them to the last mile. So that's a service we were not offering. That's something we started out in 2010. And then in 2013, we actually went into the real estate market, and we actually did some investment projects in the real estate. But again, that's part of Gilani Supermarket, not part of FMCG. And then in 2018, we actually expanded our current warehousing facility. It's still the largest facility that we have within the company in Nakuru. And it is basically about 120,000 square feet of storage space on 4.5 acres. And a lot of the products that come there then actually move or find their way to our country. So we have products like rice, salt that actually come in from Mombasa. And these products would then come and get housed in Nakuru and then would filter to the other branches across our distribution network. In 2020, we actually, for the first time, went outside Nakuru and expanded into Nairobi, Sigona, just on the outskirts. And that was our first venture outside Nakuru. And in 2022, towards the end, November, we actually formed a separate entity, which we're discussing today, which was Gilani's Distributors Limited. The reason for this was we were finding that our expansion was, towards the distribution side. Our current company is still called Gilani Supermarket, but a lot of the suppliers and market customers were actually associating us with a supermarket name. And so we had to make it clear that it's actually still Gilani's, but it's actually now distributors. So this is the company that we've actually then taken countrywide. So in terms of the branches, we're currently in 11 branches across the country today. They're there on the map. So we've covered, all 47 counties. We do deliveries to all 47 from one of those depots across the country. So in terms of our vision, it's actually to transform the FMCG distribution landscape in Africa and offering efficient service to all our customers. And our mission is actually as simple as grow with Gilani's. And this is, to all our customers, to all our stakeholders, our employees. This is our main mission is, as you work with Gilani's or interact with Gilani's in any way, our objective here is actually to grow everyone that's working with us as we obviously grow our own business as well. And I think behind every business, it's extremely important that we have core values. So these are our 5 core values that we share with our team on a daily basis. It's in all our supplier interactions. It's with any interaction with a shareholder or with, stakeholders. So we care and we're committed. Respect and honesty is something that, is paramount for us. Like I mentioned in our motto, it's growth, connected to ensure that, all our different departments are working together, working closely with our stakeholders. And obviously the most important that, we have learned over all these years of being in business is reputation, because, reputation is obviously built on trust and on keeping your word. And that is something that is extremely paramount for Gilani's. So some of the companies we work with, we'll show them to you shortly. So Rhoda, we can just skip to the next slide. And I think most of the individuals in Kenya will know, companies like Grain Industries, Coca-Cola, Kimfe, Bidco, Zenco. They're all there on the screen. Menengai Oil, KCC, Canafric Industries, Del Monte, Matchmasters, Pwani, Steelwool Africa, Ketepa, Dormans. Malbros is actually Nuvita, Excel, Kiss Kids, True Foods, Kevian, Premier Foods, Golden Africa, Unga Limited, and Capwell. So we may have missed some on our deck here, but we work with close to 80 suppliers. These are some of the suppliers that we work with. We also work with their brands, which may be more familiar to a lot of the people in this forum. So the Aja brand, which is, one of the top wheat brands across the country. Of course, I believe everyone knows Coca-Cola, and the others are there for you guys to see. So in terms of brands and SKUs, we house close to 1,200 SKUs in our warehouses across the country, ranging from, all the different locations. And each location would have specialized products that would be demanded by particular customers in that particular market. I think in regards to customer segments, we covered this earlier. Can just go over it briefly again. So in terms of the value chain and how customer segmentation works, we have the manufacturer that would work with a distributor like ourselves. We would then work with other wholesalers and other distributors who would, buy products in larger scale. We would have smaller scale retailers, like I mentioned earlier, dukas and kiosks, and we would have cash and carry customers. So something else that we're offering is at any of our locations, you can actually walk in and buy products. So if you're, in need of an urgent delivery or urgent, purchase, you could actually just walk in and buy products at a discounted price from the particular locations, which, we can share with you after this call. One of the segments we've looked at, which we're playing partly, is HoReCa. This is hotels, restaurants, and cafes. So currently they do buy from us, but we've been looking at an expansion into this category, which I think is, really growing with the tourism that's actually doing really well in Kenya at the moment. So this is something that we're really looking forward towards and growing with our company. And then the final one is obviously institutions, which we've been servicing for many years as well through, schools, churches, and then, government institutions as well. So in terms of how we actually do this, these are just some of the numbers that we have. At the moment, we have close to 1,200 outsourced. I know the presentation shows 900, but including outsourced personnel, we have 1,200. We have a sales team of over 190. We have unique customers that we service on a monthly basis of 25 to 26,000 customers uniquely. Like I mentioned earlier, we have 47 counties, so we're covering countrywide. We do 1,000 towns in this, and routes, we call them routes in FMCG distribution. And every month we're doing more than 60,000 deliveries with our vehicles. So in terms of the vehicles that we have, we would have asset sizes that would be very different. We would have tuk-tuks that would carry 700 to 800 kilos, and you'd be moving this all the way to 10-ton trucks, which would be 10,000 kilos. Depending on the distance that we need to travel, the tuk-tuks, of course, would be very close to base, which would be a warehouse. They would go a maximum of 20 kilometers from the base. So if you're in the vicinity of our warehouse, you would get quicker delivery. And then as you go further and further away, the delivery may take a bit longer, but you would also be serviced by a different asset class, which would be either a 5-ton truck or a 10-ton truck. So in terms of the omni-channel support, we also discussed this briefly earlier in terms of how we sell. So we'd have direct sale partnerships. A lot of vendors and institutions that, also buy from us today, and our customers look at, sending us direct LPOs because we already have interacted with them quite a bit. So that's more of a direct sales report or approach. We have the app that we discussed, which, will be going live in the next couple of months. WhatsApp communication. So this is something that we're looking to build. We do have already a bulk SMS platform that would offer offers, product offering, banding of products. This is something that we already have. Digital marketing. So, in terms of how we're going to use this is we're going to work mainly with the Gilani's app. This is something that we'll be looking to do and partner with our vendors. And then we also have a truck branding. So I'm not sure if you can see the image on the screen, but that is one of the modes we have to interact with our suppliers and our customers. So currently we have a fleet size of about 160, and probably 75% of these assets have been branded in a manner which would be half Gilani's and half a supplier. So I'm not sure how many people may have seen our trucks across the country, but this is an initiative that we've been running for about 1.5 years. So we have truck branding, and we also have invoice branding. So what we do on the invoice branding side is, as we do a delivery, we're obviously giving the customer a hard copy, and we have partnered with multiple suppliers to actually have their logos put on these particular invoices. So it's just a way of marketing support for Gilani's and for the vendors that we're partnering with. The call center, I think we've already discussed and how that's working. And then in-person sales, the cash and carry, we've also covered. So what this slide is doing is it's more of a visual. It just allows basically what I've been speaking about in terms of a visual. So you can see the warehousing and how the warehousing is using different asset classes and asset sizes to strategically deliver goods to different parts of the market or value chain. So, supplier supplies us, and then we're able to break that bulk down into any size from, multiple cartons, trucks, into, single pieces, units. And this is something that we're going to do with our customer-facing app. So you can see the Boda Boda Rider. That's something that we'll be launching soon, where you could actually order for your home, and we'll be able to deliver that to you at the most efficient pricing. In terms of we'll cover the distribution models for SME manufacturers. So I think, Linda, this is mainly key for the presentation today, is how can Gilanis work with, SMEs, and how do we get this product out? So what I wanted to do is just explain this to any SME that may be looking to work with us, and, say, how will you be able to get my product out there, and how do you do it? So what we do is, before we actually list a product, we do a market survey through a call center. So the call center would call multiple customers. We would be able to do roughly 1,000 customers in a day. We call them and we would ask them to say, okay, there is this particular product. Is it selling in your market, and is there demand for this product? So we would go through an entire checklist with our proposed partner and say, okay, this is how we want to work with you, and what value proposition are you looking to give the customer, and what segment are you looking to target? So it's very important that the SME knows that, if I'm going to sell an item of, for example, peanut butter at 800 bob, then really the GT market is not for you. But if you came in and said, look, I have a sachet that's 20 bob and it's something I want to target, so we would sit down with you, we would understand your value proposition, we would then target surveys from there. And then we would say, okay, what has come out from those surveys, and how do we partner with you to list you in particular branches? Is it something that we can list countrywide? So our team would then, be able to raise POs with you, get the product delivered. That's part one. So that's not a very difficult part, because it's what does the customer want, and it's Gilanis availing the product at their distribution centers. The challenging part and the more discussion would come into, how do we get that product from the warehouse to the particular customer, and ensure that even as we get it to our customers, they're able to sell and see the value in that product. So that is where a lot of partnership play comes into place, to say, we're able to basically get the product to Gilanis. Now, how do we pull that product from Gilanis to the final consumer? And that is why we talked about all the sales strategies that we have. We'd be able to sit down with SMEs and say, okay, what is the best way for us to actually partner with you to get your product from the outlet, Gilani's outlet, to the final consumer? So that's something that we'd be able to work with. And those are the different models that have been listed here. There's a direct to retailer model, which we could do. So a lot of SMEs come to us and say, look, Naivas or Carrefour or Quickmart have ordered 10 cartons from me, and it's in Mombasa. And it's how do you get that product to them, right? You're having out of stock matters on the shelf. And so how are you getting that product from your outlet or your manufacturing unit to Naivas? Now, what we do as Gilanis is we collate all those products together. So we would have multiple suppliers that have come to us. We call that a third-party logistics model, or 3PL in short. And the supplier would come to us and say, look, I have these 10 cartons, but we would aggregate multiple suppliers, and we would then fill a truck up to Naivas and say, look, here's a truck for example, Likoni, right? And we're able to then deliver much more efficiently because we're housing that product. So we also offer that service to our vendors, if that is something that would be of interest. If vendors want to have a direct relationship, they would invoice those accounts directly. But if they wanted us to handle that, we could also handle that. So like I said, a lot of the discussions on partnership, on what we offer, can be discussed in a lot more detail with the team. And I think this kind of gives it, an overall view in one slide in terms of what exactly is Gilani's distributors offering. So we offer obviously warehousing and inventory management. So we're able to keep your products for you in a particular location safely, ensure that they're not lost. And if they're lost, they're covered for with insurance. Transport and logistics, obviously, which is, taking the product from the warehouses to the last mile, fulfilling the orders. We mentioned earlier route optimization, which is looking at where the customers are located, and how to get product to them. And then obviously sales and marketing, we would partner with all our vendors and say, okay, how do we get this done? Do we use truck branding? Do we use, above the line, below the line, and with the market insights of the call center and our team on the ground, we would be able to work with you and basically provide this service as well. So a few numbers as well in terms of the solution that we're offering. I think today Gilani's is one of the only companies across the country that is offering distribution countrywide. So as you work with us or as we partner with you, it's something that not very many distributors are offering, to say there's countrywide presence. In fact, I can't think of a single one. I may be wrong, but we're able to offer vendors a national footprint on the first day, right? And how we do that is, like we said, we have the entire structure we've spoken about earlier. We have a very dedicated sales team. We have enough assets for delivery. So in terms of supply chain, we're very solid on how that works. In terms of data, we're able to provide data to our partners in terms of where is your product selling, which customers have bought your product, how is it selling from them? Are we getting complaints? Do we need to do activations in particular markets? So we're able to give you a lot of data insight, which is something that vendors have really shown interest in. So we can actually show you in a particular market how many customers Gilani serviced and how many customers actually bought a particular vendor's product. So things like that is unique. That's our selling point, and that's part of our IP as well. So in terms of scale and growth, I think we've discussed we do have plans to open a few more outlets this year, where we're finding that there is great demand for products, but we're unable to get there quickly. So our objective is to continue to service customers within a 48-hour period. So where we're finding that we're struggling, the distances are too far, and the volumes allow a warehouse to open, we will continue to open warehousing to make sure that we're very close to customers. So these are some of the partners that we work with already. Some may be unknown to a lot of individuals in the FMCG space. So we have Acumatica, which is our ERP. We partner with Solutech on the SFA side. Letta does our route and fleet optimization at the moment. And we also have Calltronics, which is doing our entire call center setup, including some AI features that they have there as well. So some of the projects that we basically have taken over in Malindi, and we thought we'd just share this with the audience, is what other services Gilani is able to offer. When you think about the space, you have multiple manufacturers that, due to inefficiency in distribution, have opened depots across the country. So what happens with this is, you can imagine if you're selling 5 or 10 products, you have a warehouse that you need to rent. You have to pay for security, you have to get insurance, you have to get an entire team to load and offload, you have to have the managers there. And then you're obviously handling items like cash, driver challenges, maintaining trucks. And so what has happened in the space is, as we've gone in and taken over particular depots for particular companies, they found that it's very easy for us to basically grow their distribution footprint, because this is our specialty. So it's something that manufacturers are doing today in Kenya, but it's not something they really want to do. I could be challenged on that point, but from what we're seeing is it's not really something that manufacturers want. They want a reliable distributor. They want someone they can partner with to say, can you take this headache so I can focus on brand building and manufacturing? So the manufacturers are good at that, and kudos to them. But for Gilani's, what we're saying is we're also not interested in the manufacturing space, because that's not our expertise. Our expertise is actually in taking your product and getting it to trade, right? And selling your product. So we've been very, very focused on our particular strength, and that is our strength. So that's the reason we've taken over particular depots like Voi, Mombasa, Kilifi, including Malindi and Ukunda. And this is a project that we've basically been running with. So we're actually looking to grow revenues with particular vendors by almost 15 or 20 fold in the next couple of years. So these are just some testimonials that have been shared from our key partners. I don't want to read them. We can share this later, but these are just some testimonials that have been shared from the CCO from Kimfe and Chief Commercial Officer from Chandaria Industries as well. So regarding, I think this particular slide, we've already discussed this in detail. We can share this, Linda, with you later. A couple of slides maybe regarding, what you feel is more appropriate for the team, but we can skip this slide as well, Rhoda. Thank you. And I think those are just the contact details. So I've seen a lot of vendors, ERP providers on the call. If you need to reach out to us, those are the contact details. Of course, we'll be taking questions as well, but those are some of the contact details we have there as well. So I believe that takes us to the end, Linda. I promised you I'm not taking 45 minutes. So I think I've taken 30 minutes.
Yes, you rushed through some parts. Really, really rich presentation. Thank you so much, Faiz, for making time. It's so impressive what you have built. It's truly, truly, truly impressive.
Very
Truly,
nice.
60,000 deliveries. Is that, you said that's per month, is it?
Yes, 60,000 deliveries a
60,000
month.
deliveries per month. Guys, you can
Yes.
imagine with 80 suppliers. I liked the approach that you said, that you get a supplier, when you're onboarding one, you first do a market survey, and then it's really data-driven insight. Very, very, very interesting. Very interesting. And because I have guys, we'll have we have a long Q&A usually. I know you guys have a lot of questions, so please put them on chat. I'm just buying time for you guys to put them on chat. But I wanted you to go back to where you started, Faiz, where you started on the data, on retail distribution and so forth. I know you kind of skipped through it, but there's a lot of insights there in the beginning. On
the retail distribution.
Yes, in the roadmap. Maybe you can just where we started off, the first few slides on the growth of the market, on the growth of the market. Really impressive, really impressive, really, really impressive. Guys, don't worry. This session is available on YouTube, so it will be available on YouTube. In case some parts you felt like you went fast, we have a chance for all the questions. So don't worry. This session is available on YouTube. We don't share the slides, but everything is available on YouTube. Yeah. So there we were. So just speak about this retail segment. You kind of rushed through it. This $11 billion market. So what was that exactly? Was it the retail segment, or maybe you can just recap this one as I wait for people to ask their questions. So guys, put your questions on chat. Yes.
Sure. So let me just cover I know I covered it earlier, but maybe I was, like you said, a bit quick. So in terms of how we categorize this, so Gilani's, like I said today, is actually playing in two categories, right? We're playing in both the modern trade and the general trade. Our expansion has not been in the modern trade. So the reason I didn't cover that too much is because I'm assuming a lot of the listeners were also on Luck's presentation, but maybe that's a poor assumption on my side.
Yes.
But the modern trade is actually, like I said, your Carrefours, Naivases, Quick Marts, Magunas, and that kind of space where you have individuals that would walk into an outlet, and Gilani's, of course, Gilani supermarket, where you come in and you're very clear, you have a shopping list, and you're able to buy everything under one roof, right? That's modern trade. Now, today, what the customer is looking for is convenience. So I know in Nairobi, the trend has been, and in a lot of capital cities and the bigger cities, is to say, look, I don't want to go into the store. I want product delivered to me. And that is when you look at your, entrance like Jumia, you would have Greenspoon in Nairobi. You have this entire different space. And when you look at the modern trade, what they're also trying to do is to say, look, I also want to provide a service of e-com or e-commerce where I can get to my consumer, right? Now, it may sound very simple in theory, but when you actually get down to it, it's very complex. Why? It's because if I order a product, how am I ordering? And that's why I spend time on the sales process. I'm either ordering through a phone call, I'm ordering through
Mm-hmm.
an email. I'm ordering
Mm-hmm.
through someone physically coming to me and saying, "Do you want to buy this product?"
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing it through an app. So I think as we scale and as we try and cover all the customers, we're saying, look, we understand that we need to provide an application to customers. So today, Linda, you may not shop from Gilani's.
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Sure.
Because you have no access to us. How are you
Mm-hmm.
accessing? Maybe a salesperson isn't coming to you. Maybe you don't even know our call center number. Maybe you don't know our locations. And so that is why it's not been that loud. The only thing that's been loud about Gilani's is, you can see our trucks on the road because we're one of the only distributors who really brand our trucks. So
Mm-hmm.
what we're saying is we want to give access, and the market size, according to us, for the entire FMCG is $11 billion. So
Wow.
that is the food, cleaning products. It could, and like I said, it's a really wide category. It could be,
Sure.
multiple categories: diapers, toilet
Sure.
paper. In Kenya, that was the last survey that we could find was in
Mm-hmm.
2024 was 11
Mm-hmm.
billion out of 23 in East Africa. So
Wow.
that is why I try to focus the conversation more towards can we, can Gilanis find a way to say, look, I want to access Linda. I want Linda and the other final consumers to buy from
Mm-hmm.
us.
Sure.
Like I said, once I've accessed you, it's not, you've downloaded our app. That's only one part, right? Now
Mm-hmm.
I have to entice you to order. So
Order.
downloading
Yes.
an app is one part, but how
Yes.
am I going to make Linda order? So
Sure.
we give Linda an offer to say that, hey,
Mm-hmm.
your first purchase, we can do this. I may offer
Mm-hmm.
you a service which nobody's offering you, which is, for example, price, to say that, you know
Mm-hmm.
what, if you buy 50 kilos of sugar, I can give it to you at a 10% discount over your normal 2 kilos. So are you willing to buy that for the month or 2 months of stock at a much lower price? So what is the value proposition that I'm offering you? Once we're
Mm-hmm.
able to get an order from you, it then goes into warehousing logistics, right? Plus transport. So a lot of people will come in and work with, like I mentioned, 3PL partners like ourselves to say, okay, you've got this product now, I want you to deliver it. So you're starting, I hope, to see some of the complexities. It's getting the order, getting the person to download the app, then saying, okay, now I've got the order, how do I fulfill the order? Because a lot of people may have ordered from, border riders and things like that. A lot of people actually have informally someone who they can call up and say, can you pick this up for me? And they'll charge them, 100 shillings or 200 shillings, right? So that is something that we're trying to get into to say,
Sure.
can I offer the final consumer that particular product? So I know I've gone around your question, but
Yes, but it's useful.
that is
Useful.
the reason that I was focusing more on
Sure.
the sales side
Sure.
and this particular value. That this is why we've decided to venture into this particular space.
Amazing, amazing. So I know a lot will be clarified through the questions. So I'm going to start, guys. Put your questions on chat. This is a session where you guys ask questions. I know there are usually many, but I will try and get through. It's not every time we get someone like Faiz on the call. So guys, feel free. So Barbara, I'll start with Barbara here. What is the current outlet universe for for GT in Nairobi? What is the current outlet universe for GT Nairobi? Almost ties to what you were trying to say.
So at the moment, the outlet universe is we have mapped in Gilani's 120,000 outlets, out of which we know that 45,000 are in Nairobi. But from the data we have, it's close to between 80 and 100,000 outlets that are in between Nairobi and Greater Nairobi. That is the actual universe that we keep hearing about. But we have mapped ourselves close to 50,000.
Wow.
Yeah, but
Barbara.
it's only
Uh,
mapping. So we now need to service. So we've done the easy part, like I said, which is mapping. So the hard part is now to actually visit them and get orders in from them.
Amazing. Barbara, I hope that helps. Please feel free to put follow-up questions. Feel free, guys. Why we have this format like this is to allow interaction. So put the follow-up questions on chat. Ruth Morara is asking, we are in detergent manufacturing and related products. What is the process of Gilani taking our products? What are your profit margins? How do you make your payments?
So wow, that's it totally depends in terms of profit margins, payments. It depends on a vendor. It honestly goes supplier by supplier. So the
Mhm.
best way to actually interact would be through our business development team. We have a business development lead who's called Terry. She's worked with us for over 30 years. through our other company as well. So she actually leads that docket together with Edward. So the initial part would be obviously writing to the email address and saying, I have this particular product. Come into our HQ, have a meeting with the team, arrange for that. That's pretty easy in terms of listing, bring the products with you so that they can be seen, the entire listing procedure. So it's very structured. You will be given an entire list of items to say this is how we list products. And like we said, even before we do the listing, we'll have all those different items that we do. Is obviously the surveys. It's not as easy as just saying, here's my product, sell it. We need to understand, is there demand for that product? Because the last thing we need is to keep products in our warehouses that are not selling, right? So a lot of the products that we do list are actually demanded for by the sales team. So if your product is already existing in market, it is very highly likely that our sales team has seen this product and they will be bringing this information to us saying, can you list this particular product? So when you look at the brands we're working with, and I think in Kenya, most of the listeners would know like Kevian, Kevian juices, Coca-Cola. If you're looking at diapers, now everyone is talking about soft care. So these are certain things that you'd be able to see in trade. And then if we've not listed them, it's very easy for us to list because our team is bringing them to our attention and saying we need to actually expand the product portfolio.
Yeah. So there's no general profit margins. There's no general.
No, there is, but
a range. Yeah.
There is a range, but like I said, you see, when you say cleaning products, I can list you 100 different cleaning products. I can talk about toilet cleaners. I can talk about dishwashing liquid. I can talk about dishwashing paste. And so what I'm saying is cleaning product will not really give us to say, and for me to answer a direct GP margin question will be, I'll not be giving a truthful answer. I don't know, right? So it would be something that would be brought and assessed by the team and said, okay, look, this is what we require. But it's not something that would, it's open to the vendor to say, this is what we require from you. It's not hidden. It's something that's very clear and shared. And we have a template that is then shared with all the different criteria. I believe there's almost 17 or 18 criteria for a vendor to be listed. So you would have, what are your products? What are your GP margins that you are offering? So it's not us who says this is the margin we want. The initial part comes to say, this is what we're selling at. Like when you walk into a car showroom, you are not guessing the price. You're told the price first, and this is the profit, and then you work backwards from there. So that's how we would basically list a vendor. It's not, I could talk to you guys about that for 2 hours on how to list a vendor. Yeah,
I understood. Very interesting. Ruth, I hope that makes sense. I know your team is on the call. They can keep putting the contacts on the chat. I know it's the last page, but guys, I see Rhoda, Elizabeth, please put the contacts, like where do they go? Keep putting them on the chat. Keep putting where people can actually come, where your business development team sits. Kennedy Lamwenya. I don't know whether this is a question or mostly it's we help African food retailers, supermarkets cut expiry-related losses through mobile fast expiry. So I think this is just what they do. So Mungai Jomo, he's asking, well done, Faiz. We have seen well-financed distributors stumbling, Copia, Twiga, and so forth. What's the main reason and what would be your advice on the same? Wow.
I'll tell you guys, this business isn't for the faint-hearted, for sure. He's right. He's definitely right. We've seen a lot of, individuals companies come and go. The fundamentals of a business remains the same, right? Like any other business, it's making profit, right? And ensuring shareholder value is retained and expanded. And what we're saying is, we are giving it our best shot. We're saying that we have actually formed a fundamental business and then added technology. So a lot of other players, and like I said, look, again, I may be speaking out of turn because I don't want to speak about other people's business. I don't think it's right. Everybody works hard and everybody has the reasons for why they do things. But for Gilani, what we've done is we've built a business on business fundamentals and then said, okay, if we want to expand, how do we scale, right? How do we ensure that efficiencies are maintained, but growing together? So today, when you have an owner, and I'm sure a lot of people will resonate with this, is when you're sitting in a particular, for example, a shop or in your own business as a salon or anything, and you're the owner, you have a lot more control of what's happening. So what happens with scale and as you open outlets is you obviously start to lose control as a business owner, which means you're relying on your team. So a lot of it also depends on the individuals in the team. How have you hired?
Mm.
How are those individuals? And that's why I pulled up the core values. It's not something I had to show, but it's something that drives our entire team to say, guys,
Oh,
this is something that is our badge of honor, right? To say that we're reputable, we're honest. So
mm,
these conversations are very easy to have. I'm not saying that that has happened at other businesses, but it's something that is obviously paramount. And the person is right. Whoever raised that question is right to say, yeah, it's what has happened to these guys. They've raised 100 times more money than Gilani's, right? But like I said, I can't speak for them. I can speak for Gilani's, and we're on the right path. We have
mhm,
suppliers, and like we said, we do have also a reputation for the
mhm.
last 50 years for individuals that, or companies that are, looking to partner with us because of the track record, right?
Wow.
So yeah, we're here to stay.
Wow. Yeah. 50. How many years did you say? 51.
51 years.
50,
Yes.
51 years this year.
Yes. Yes.
Amazing, amazing. Wow. So many
Yes.
lessons to learn from you. Brenda on Zero is asking, please ask Mr. Gilani, what KPI does Gilani use to measure success in retail distribution? That's the first part A. What KPI do you use to measure success? And what advice would you give to someone looking to grow a career in retail distribution and add value to companies like Gilani? So part A, what KPIs? What are the KPIs you measure for the client
So
or
KPIs for the
generally?
client. KPIs are literally, when you look at distribution, it's order cycle time. And
Mhm,
the order cycle time is from when the order comes in to when the order has been paid for. So today, how that happens is like I mentioned to you several ways that we place the order. Once the order has come in, how quickly are we? It's called a pick pack process in the warehouse. How quickly is it picked by someone, packed into a particular vehicle, and then delivered? So what we're able to do is we're able to today with our technology tell you, because a lot of the payments are done through M-Pesa, we can actually tell you that this delivery was done at this particular time. So the assumption is made that when the client pays through M-Pesa, they've obviously received the product because otherwise they wouldn't be paying for it, right? So that is what we're measuring. It's the order
mhm,
cycle time from the time the order was placed to when
mhm.
it was
The
delivered. And
payment.
so for what we look to achieve is obviously our goal is 24 hours. Realistically, we're at 48. But the closer you are to our warehousing, the quicker we are to deliver, like I mentioned, because we can send smaller vehicles to the destination. So I can send a tuk-tuk even 200 meters down the road, but we can't send a 10-ton truck, right, to deliver 5 packets of milk. But we can deliver, the 5 packets of milk with a tuk-tuk, but,
Mhm,
that would be much quicker if it's closer to the warehouse.
mhm,
Yeah.
mhm.
And the
Very
other one,
interesting.
you said advice on retail.
Yeah, if someone's looking to go into retail distribution, yes, what is the advice would give them? Very interesting.
Advice on
Yeah,
retail distribution, like
yeah.
to
So
set up a distribution company or
yes, yeah. So even someone else is asking, what advice would you give to someone who wants to explore the retail business, like to go into, I guess, supplying products to retail generally? Yeah, I know your business has very many facets, but I guess retail is kiosk. So I don't know how you can answer that. Maybe they can clarify, but retail
yeah.
distribution, retail business, just give any thoughts that come to your head, to your mind. I
So
don't know.
when someone says retail, I'll refer back to modern trade, because I
Yes.
think a lot of people when we talk about retail, we go back to the outlets and the malls, right? Like the again
Mm,
back to the big outlets.
yeah.
Um, Like we said, yeah, I mean, in terms of today, there are payments that are coming through from those particular outlets. It's a growing space as well. So it's not like only general trade is growing, because it's 60%. The entire market is growing as the population of the country grows. The spending power and people need to eat. So yeah, I mean, if you're saying that, you want to go into retail, I'm not quite sure because it's not too clear what that question means. But if
Mm,
you're going into modern trade, yeah,
yeah.
sure. I mean, there's obviously criteria that you'd need to meet. If you think, right, Gilani's would be hard with their 17 criteria, you maybe up for a wake-up call in those other ones where, you have to meet several different people before a decision is made. But it's fine. It's for corporate governance purposes. But if you're looking to say, okay, I want to open a small retail duka or kiosk, I mean, yeah, by all means, I think it would be the same logic, right? You would do a market survey to say, I want to open in this particular area. Is there somebody offering this service? Who's my competition? It would be a SWOT analysis that you would do in essence to say, what I think to enter any industry, not only retail, you need to understand, what value proposition are you bringing to the table that would differ you from your competitors.
That's true. That's true. That's true. Okay, so guys, that was kind of broad, but yeah, it's very true. It's all about value proposition. Very interesting. Joyce Kamukisha. Joyce, great to see you. She's joining from Tanzania. And they do spices, cashew nuts, the whole supply chain. They do bulk, wholesale, retail. I just thought to give you a shout out in case someone here wants to source from you from across from Tanzania. I see you do wholesale and retail. Gilani, you're mostly in Kenya, are you, for now?
Yeah, we're in Kenya for now, but very happy for Joyce to get in touch with Terry. Again, we're looking at, that category. There is a lot of product coming from Tanzania. And what's happening is that product comes through middlemen today. So if Joyce is able to supply Gilani's directly, I obviously see a straight synergy there. Happy to interact. Yeah.
Yeah. So Joyce, feel free to reach out to the team. This is why I give you a shout out. I could see it's very what you're doing is very interesting. So would you be open to
thank you very much, Linda. I'm very grateful that you just mentioned my company, and then maybe I will contact you. You can lead me how Mr. Kilani, Mr. Faiz, if I can get contact to business development.
They'll just put it on the chat. So guys, I think Rhoda, Elizabeth, please put all these things on the chat. We are very free with information. I don't hold information. Just put, the team is on the call. They can just put it on the chat as well. Yes, I saw what you do is very interesting. So please put it on the chat. Keep putting the Gilani distributors contacts on the chat. The ones that they should reach out to in the business development. Please keep putting them on the chat. Thank you, but thank you, Joyce. Keep going, keep going. So Via Badressa is asking, there are many questions, so allow me to get to them. Thank you, Joyce. Via Badressa is asking, how are you able to compile the data to show things like how many products are bought and where the demand is? Are you using a software, or is there another way, since data is key? So for data collection, to show how many products are bought, where the demand is, the initial part, that survey, what software are you using, Faiz?
So actually, we have a data warehouse, more technical complexities. We have a warehouse that we've built with a data lake in Gilani's, which will collate information from various sources. There was one slide on the technology that we're using. So you would have your ERP, you would have your SFA tool, the Salesforce automation, you'd have your deliveries, and you'd have several other flows of data that are coming through. And what we have is we have an analyst team in Gilani's that would be able to manipulate that data and then present it in a manner that's digestible to the vendors. So, it's in-house to answer the question in short, but that's how we do it. We have a warehouse that we've built, and that basically then moves, those different parts for us.
Well, so how long do you take to do the analysis, follow-up questions? And if you get a software to do that, how helpful would it be? I guess you've already answered the software uses, but how long does the whole analysis take?
It's live. It's ready now. Yeah.
So how long, if I come in as a customer?
You mean to list a company?
Yes, to when I come in as a first timer and then we do the market, or I have to pass through all the steps before you onboard me and we start doing the market survey?
Yeah, exactly. Okay. The market survey would be done at a certain point, but once your product is listed, that data is available immediately. So as soon as you put the product in, you can see your stock levels as a supplier. You can see where the product is selling. So yes, you'll have gone through the entire list of requirements, but once your product is in, that's something we're offering to the vendors to say, if you want to see your product, we can actually show you where your product is, where it's selling. It's pretty easy to see.
Amazing. Charles Karaoke is asking, what's a typical average order value? And what is the weight per delivery? Very interesting.
It could be from 1 kilo to a whole trailer. That's the range of delivery. So the average would be skewed, but you can order literally 1 carton of a product, or you could order a truck of a product. So it's very skewed. So the average would not really make sense, to be honest, because it's vast, right? So if you're selling to a wholesaler, he may tell you, I want to buy an entire truck. But if you're selling to a Duka kiosk, he may say, I want 1 carton of that product. So that's the difference between, and that's why we need to have different assets and vehicles to deliver these different orders. Yeah.
Impressive. And I saw you said you service how many SKUs? 1,200 SKUs.
Yes.
Impressive. 1,200, guys. Yeah, that's why you kind of have to break down your products into SKUs for those of you who are SMEs here. Very interesting. So Solutech is on the call, and they're saying we are pleased to be your sales automation partner. So Solutech, feel free to put your contacts on the chat as well. Very interesting, very interesting. Okay, so Peter Karaoke is asking, my question is that how does Faiz balance between being a founder and a CEO? My understanding is that both require different mindsets. Like when handling an issue, how do you know this one is for the founder or this one is a CEO issue? Peter, very interesting. You may want to answer that.
They're all my issues. So there's no clear line. I mean, the thing is, at the end of the day, running the business means that, from a founder point of view, of course, I believe you're more vested. You obviously have, a lot riding on it. I'm not saying a CEO would not, but I mean, a good CEO would make the same decision, right? As a founder, to be honest, it's always in the interest of the business, using the core value principles to say, am I making the right decision when it's tough? Using the core values, but obviously to the benefit of the business. So I don't believe there's a separation in those roles.
Separation, there isn't. So Emma is asking which other East African countries. So they're primarily in Kenya. The YouTube channel, guys, our team will put it. My team, if you're in the call, I know you're in the call, so please put the YouTube channel, guys, on the chat. Memory is asking, how are you able to grow the family business from first generation to second or third generation? Faiz, your second or third generation? Are you third? Yeah. So how have you been able to grow that? Very interesting.
Obviously, it's with a lot of support from the family as well. Otherwise none of this would be possible. So obviously there's been a lot of backing, a lot of support. And I think it's obviously, it's not something new. It's something that, from 2009. So you're looking at almost 16 years of work. It's not something that has happened overnight, right? It's taken a lot of work. And I think basically that's something that, we've been built on as, part of the family, is to say that, you need to work for the success. It's not something that happens, overnight. So I think that goes back fully to family support.
Amazing. So Emma is asking, who are your main competitors right now then?
So the distribution market is actually fragmented. So we have generally a lot of strong competitors in different market spaces. So you would have each large city having a couple of distributors that would be strong. But like I mentioned, the space for the overall national distribution doesn't really exist today. And I'm happy to be corrected. So in that kind of space, we're actually alone at the moment.
Oh, wow. Very interesting. Yeah, it's impressive. It's really impressive what you built. It's impressive. I didn't even know it was this big. What I was reading online is not exactly what you presented. Very impressive. John Kamau is asking, how do you overcome marketing challenges brought about by undercutting and also counterfeit FMCG products? Very good question.
It's something we can't overcome. It's part of where we are. There is a lot of counterfeit products. Mainly it becomes more of a manufacturer issue, not a Gilani's matter in terms of counterfeit, because obviously for us we deal directly with 99% of our products are Kenyan. We just started importation this year, but it's literally negligible. So in terms of counterfeit products, it becomes more of a manufacturer matter where we would pick that information and give it, lobby and sort that out. In terms of undercutting, yes, there is a major, obviously, people are undercutting on price every day. Their, margins are thin. So that's where the struggle is. But again, with suppliers who understand the vision of the business, understand what we're building, it's not going to be the same cost to run Gilani's as it would be to run a Gilani's in Nakuru alone, right? Those are two very different things. So, you're
Sure.
setting a structure, a team. These are not cheap, they're expensive.
Sure.
And so like in undercutting, it's something like, yeah, we go through it every day. And of course, we're able to liaise with our partners on a day-to-day basis. In some cases, they're able to do something. In other cases, they're not. So it's a constant challenge.
Wow. Guys, I have 13 minutes for questions, so I keep checking the time. Bran is asking, what is your typical payment terms and cycle days for you to pay suppliers once goods are supplied to Gilani's?
So again, I think that question needs to be answered in more detail with a JBP discussion with the business development team. It would be extremely vague for me to give an answer directly to that question.
Wow, that's true. That's true. And I hope their contacts have been put on the chat, please. Please put them on the chat, or you can also flash the last slide of the presentation that has the contacts. You can also please flash that or put that on the screen as well. Okay, so from Kilwake is asking, almost similar to what Mungai was asking, from a business sustainability viewpoint, what has been Gilani's strategy to stay afloat and grow, even as big brands in the retail space have fallen by the wayside? I think you kind of answered this, but
Yeah.
what is your sustainability plan? I don't know whether you want to add, but you kind of answered this.
Yeah, I think I answered that earlier in terms of,
Yeah.
each business is different. So honestly, I think I'll be repeating, but I believe that was covered. It was covered
Yeah,
earlier.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Mikal is asking, for the hotel and restaurants, do you go through the same process as for retail buyers when doing product service?
I've not understood that
So,
question.
yeah. So for the hotel and restaurants, so you have a segment that
Yes.
is, so hotel and restaurants are also one of your people you supply to, I think. Yeah.
Yes.
So do you go through the same process as for retail buyers when doing product service? So the product service are for the supplier of the FMCG good, of the good. The hotel and restaurant is a recipient. Yeah.
Yes.
So I don't know whether
Yeah,
for
that's
the
very good.
vendors, yeah, for the distribution network, is there some process for you to onboard them?
So
Or
basically, so the typical KYC in Kenya, and also
yeah,
I think it's important we cover the ODPP, which is the Data Protection Act. So
yes.
today, what happens is our agents, or even when you later on will be able to sign on to the online platform, will be able to keep your data. We need to secure that data, and we are certified now to store your data securely. So it's kind of your customer name, your phone number, your location, all these details would be picked to know your customer, right? So I think maybe the question is more referring to payment terms, I'm assuming. So I'll go down that lane slowly. But what we're doing is a lot of our deliveries, we ask for payment on delivery. So we're not asking you for a prepayment. We would deliver to you, and then we would collect the payment and say, here's the product, take it and give us, payment in return for that product. Now, when it comes to someone who may want credit to say that, look, I'm getting credit offered by so and so, but I want to move to Gilani's because you may have a better pricing. It's literally, we would probably have, M-Pesa statements, or there would be requirements from the credit control team. So just as we have suppliers and vendors on the call who will contact BD, which is the business development, customers can contact our sales team, right? And then the sales team will walk them through that process. So maybe Rhoda, Liz, as we put contacts for the vendors, we can also put contacts for the call center. which someone can post, and anyone can dial in countrywide. It's free to call, and anyone in the call center can pick up customer queries there and guide them through the process.
Amazing. Peter Karaoke is asking, it's a really good question. We have seen an increase in most MT go to private label products. I think this is manufacturing. I know Gilanis has also taken that direction. What informed that decision to invest in private labels? Would this require a different approach in marketing and revenue streams? The private label that you talked about.
So today, I think someone had asked a question just a few minutes ago regarding price undercutting. And the question is, what is Gilani's offering differently from the others, right? What am I offering, or what is Gilani's doing differently from another distributor? So today, when we offer the same product at the same price, we can only offer you efficient delivery, right? To surpass and ensure that you're satisfied as a customer. But in addition to that, if we're able to provide you a value proposition to say, here's a Gilani's product that is either slightly lower in price or better in quality, that is what informs the private label proposition, to say, are we able to provide a consumer with this particular product that will give them more value, right? So that's the only thing that initiates that discussion.
Amazing. Kennedy is asking, how do you track expiry dates of food products within your warehouses?
I laugh because it's not an easy task, but we have, again, structure in place. We have warehouse managers, we have stock controllers, we have an audit team that goes around on a monthly basis from HQ, and we have a zero expiration policy, zero damage policy. So we're not saying that this doesn't happen, but when it happens, of course, we have a zero tolerance policy to the same. So we are following, FIFO standards. And basically these are things that are part of warehousing. So when, I was mentioning to you, it's not that simple. I can see someone has some expertise in that space, because it is a task, and it is something that needs to be done on a day-to-day basis. Cleanliness of products, housekeeping, these are all things that need to be done literally day by day, minute by minute.
Wonderful. And do you list goods that require refrigeration? So meat, did you stop listing meat? So all these things, do you handle goods that require refrigeration?
I'll answer that question in two parts. The first one is, we are not the same as Gilani's Butchery. I think a lot of people confuse us with the BC place.
Yes, they do. Yes.
Yeah. So that was a separate business, not run by us. So no, we do not stock meat products in distribution. We do stock meat products in the supermarket. And do we handle cold chain? We have handled entire Daima distribution to all the outlets at some point. For about 7 years, we used to do this from Limuru all the way to the western border of Kenya, including their ice creams. So that is something that we have experience with. We have done it in the past. We stopped that last year, but it is something that we have experience with to handle cold chain. It's something that can definitely be discussed if somebody wants to open that discussion.
Okay. And do you have manufacturers producing for your label? We would wish to partner. These guys are indeed. How does someone become work with you for private labeling?
Business development.
Many questions.
That's what I'm saying. The easiest for the vendors is business development. The easiest for the customers is call center. And if there's any IT services, we have an entire IT team. That would be very quick to say, yes, we need this, or no, we don't need this. We're very direct in our responses.
Amazing.
So that's something that, we pride ourselves on. Yeah.
Amazing. I like that. And Rhoda has put the contacts on chat. She can put them again. Guys, indeed, I like the questions you're asking. This is why we did this session, so that you can grow and get. Yeah, so I enjoyed shop. So the rest are just comments. So do you have any requirements like KED certification for manufacturers? Obviously. Yeah, so that one is obvious. Do you have any requirements like KED certification for manufacturers? Definitely you do.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, all our suppliers are 99%, like I said, are Kenyan based.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're all certified.
Yeah. So in case a dispute arises, how does a dispute get resolved? Is it arbitration, mediation, negotiation, or straight to litigation? Very
We
interesting.
haven't gone there yet, touch wood. So we're normally able to sort out amicably in with
Okay.
negotiation. Yes.
Okay. Charles is asking, he keeps asking, I think you kind of answered this. What's a typical average order value and weight per delivery? I think you
We covered this. Yeah.
you answered this so that you can determine the mode of transport. But at Gilanis, you have various modes of transport, do you?
Yes.
That can carry various weights, or you can optimize for various weights. I guess
Yes.
that's his concern, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, we can. So just to add to that, I think I saw one question on where can I get the Gilani's app? It's not actually available. It
Yeah.
will be available. We'll be posting this hopefully in 2 months from now. So we will post this for people to download. We hope you guys support us on downloading the app.
Sure.
Everything else in the back end will be handled by Gilani's. So we
Sure.
will share those details when we're ready.
Sure.
But it's something
Sure.
in the pipeline. Yeah.
Sure. You'll just send it to me and we'll share with them. And then Mohammed Talakasi is asking, he's a sales director of Better Flour Mills. See, you have one new customer here. What's the procedure? So I think he says you can reach him on that number. But I think Mohammed, you already have the contacts. So just follow the contacts that they have given. Better Flour Mills. Yeah, so I think that's a potential client. Okay, so guys, it is what time is it? 3 minutes to. Oh my, and I've kept Mr. Faiz here for long. Do you do any imports? No, he said majority is locally. The proportion of imports is 5%. I think he answered this, Emma. Okay, he already answered this, Emma. So with this in mind, it's 3 minutes to 12:30. I always like to keep time because we invite very busy people. Guys, thank you so much for making time, Mr. Faiz. I know you're
Thank you.
very busy. I
Thank
hope
you.
you have found this useful. There's usually many
I have.
questions. Sometimes I get to 12:45, but I hope I have answered all. I have gone through all your questions. They've somehow been answered. I think artificial intelligence, someone asked about FMCG and artificial intelligence, but you answered that based on the tech systems that you're using. Do you want to mention anything around that?
So in terms of AI, like I said, it's still very in nascent stages, right? Especially in Kenya right now. So we do have partners, like I can see Solutech on the call. I know that they have initiated AI. So a lot of it, we obviously work through our partners. So that's something that they're working on as well. But internally, we mainly use, for example, you'd have meeting minutes. Microsoft provides services like this as well, where you'd have minutes taken by AI and presented, summarized. So, mainly we're using third-party vendors for this. At the moment, we have not developed in-house capability. We're definitely looking at it, but it's not something we've developed at the moment. We have a lot in our pipeline before we get to that.
Sure. And he did share the tech tools that they're using. If you missed that, you can just go and see it in the YouTube channel. Yvette, Sandra, please paste the YouTube channel on the chat. And with that, guys, thank you so much for joining. If you have been joining from Zimbabwe, Malawi, I've seen so many people, so many countries. Usually it is 11 o'clock East African time. I repeat this all the time. East African time, guys, East African time. I see some people join 1 hour late, 1 hour after. Please forgive us. We are trying to really emphasize it's East African time. So great to see you all. Zimbabwe, Malawi, great to see you all. Every 2 weeks, I bring a business leader. Every 2 weeks. The next session is on the 2nd of July. 2nd of July. So the team can also put the link there, but it's on the 2nd of July. But thank you so much, Faiz. You really shared a lot. You've really been transparent. I personally will go and rewatch it because I saw so much insights that you shared for SMEs. If you missed them, please go and rewatch. The slides have so much insight. They have so much insight. If you're struggling on distribution, they have so much insight. So feel free to go and watch again. Unfortunately, our time is up. So thank you so much. Yeah, thanks, Alan. Great to see you guys. Yeah, you can give Faiz a thumbs up like you always do. It's not easy for these leaders to make time, but thank you so much. I truly appreciate, and your team, Elizabeth, and Rhoda for facilitating this. I really appreciate. So business development, the emails are there. For Gilani's, everything is there. Yeah, everything is there for business development, for sales, for partnership, everything is there. So yeah, so guys, you're very much, everything is there. So every 2 weeks, you every 2 weeks we are here. Yeah, he's a giant. Yeah, very focused. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, he's very focused and best CEO to interact with. You always learn something. He's a giant in FMCG and understands his craft very well. Yeah, I agree. Thanks, guys. Peter Karaoke, thank you for that comment. I see people are entering now. They missed the time. So, guys, thank you so much. We are free to leave. I'll ask our team to put our WhatsApp channel for you to see where you can always find us, how you can know about the next session. Every 2 weeks, I'm trying to bring as many people so that we can share. Information age, you cannot die because of lack of information. So team, please put our WhatsApp channel, put our registration form. Our WhatsApp channel, you can get real-time information about what's happening at the center, who we are hosting, everything. And every 2 weeks, let's interact. Zimbabwe, Malawi, Tanzania. I've seen so many countries, guys, so many. Joyce is saying this was insightful. Yes, Joyce, pleasure to meet you guys. Pleasure to meet you. It's just to bring all our SMEs in our network to a session because we've interacted with many SMEs across Africa. Great to see you guys. Great to see you guys. We are all free to leave. I always like to start and end on time. It's 12:32, and at SSC we keep time. So 12:32, 2 minutes. Yeah, 2 minutes. So you can rewatch this on YouTube. Team, please put it again. Put the YouTube channel, put the WhatsApp channel, everything. If you need any support, reach out to our team. Information, tenders, trade opportunities, funding opportunities, everything. Please, do not be stuck. Do not say business is hard. Do not be stuck. We have to grow. Even in these times, we will grow. So the next session is 2nd of July. 2nd of July. We are bringing one of the top pathologists in Africa, and it's all about wellness, health, and AI in health sector. AI. So if you know doctors, if you know clinics, all of them need to be here 2nd of July. So every 2 weeks, I will work hard to do this every 2 weeks. So thank you so much, guys. Great to see you. Stephen, great to see you. Great to see you guys. Christine Mutisia, great to see you again. Great to see you. Jennifer, great to see you. Lois, great to see you. Yeah, great to see you. See Lampo.